Hello Blender folks, welcome back. This is Gnomes, and we are again a bit late today for nonetheless streaming of this character making Aisha original sci-fi character, and this time the approach I have been researching and experimenting. We are going for shading for shining pupils and irises, yes, the reflections, whatever, for which are good usually for even very good for stylized characters, cartoon, anime, whatever you name it. This is actually what I've never did something like that before. It's the first time that I attempt some approach here. It's not, I think there's a shadow of the hair, so I tried to do this procedurally, entirely procedurally, although I have a version with an image texture, but it doesn't matter. And because of that, and that I don't have a lot of experience, it cost me a lot to reach this state, but it's not as I wanted, so I'll try to explain what this is all about. There are a bunch of tutorials that explain a lot of things, but I had to dig myself in something that would work for this character, because the eye is not an eyeball, right? It's an eye surface. It could be rounded, but it could be enclosed, but it's not in, that is not important, because it's not the eyeball or the eye mesh that moves here. It's the UV warp, it's the UVs that move. They slide along the mesh, right? So with the UV warp modifier, I don't have the bones here for this. Maybe I have, but anyways, so this is from a previous model, but so reusing what I've managed to do here is just to address the shading, so complexifying this stuff. And how does that work? So this will be interesting to explain here. Actually, this will be good for me to revise this and reorganize. So I did my research, and I was able to, I sort of completed this, right? Because in the end, it's not perfect. I intend to be working on this later on with more perfecting this method. I've just found something that is maybe good enough for now. I'm not totally sure about the every setup here, but I think that, you see, the eyes are different here. I would like to find a way to automate this the rounded reflections there, but you see that those are artificial ones because they are just balls, circles, right? Fake reflections, although I tried to. We can move them manually, but I don't think they can be rigged. At least they would follow the UVs, so that's fine. But I don't like this idea. I would like if these reflections would be completely dynamic by nature, just as these ones we're seeing there. So I don't know how we can control like the lighting, the shade, in order to affect the shading in a specific way that would consistently have this sort of glow specific to those styles. So I know that many artists in 3D, I've seen them doing this, so this sounds okay. I even tried to add some sort of emission, some sort of glowing effect here, glossy, I don't know. Yeah, I tried a lot of things to just make this thing more, but no matter what, it's never good enough. So and I'm really wary about the fact that if and there's another problem, is that I have to make one different from the left and the right eye. I don't know how to inverse that. Oh, maybe I know. Yes, I know. Let's make drivers here. Totally, let's do that. For now, that should work. Let's first get the soundtrack running, right, folks? And okay, so rigging this the other side, that'll be funny. So basically, it's just a basically there's a center here. It doesn't need to be for the y, which is the uv is the height. It's just for the x. So this is the original eye, this is the right eye, which is actually, it's not a mirror, but it is usually for me the left side is the original one and the right side is the secondary mirrored whatever. Then okay, so this, because the original is 0.5, so this is a negative 0.2 variation. So what I need to do is to try to mimic this in an inverse way. So let's say this will be the original. So you see, it doesn't work, and if I add here the same value, it just goes in this sense, right? This is because the UVs, they are matching for the everything there, not everything, the procedural texture that is going on here, it is centralizing, right, sort of symmetrizing what I need. So unfortunately that glow, which is procedural and it's part of the UVs, hence they will, you see UV here, texture coordinates, so it will also be bound to this mirroring, or to this, it's not exactly a mirroring, it's just to this organization. However, if I just create an artificial thing here for this eye, so let's see, add driver, so it would be like, oh, okay, so I need to catch copy, what is copy data, copy as new driver, right? No, wrong one. So copy as new driver, the X, and here delete drivers, and then paste the driver. And so by doing this, it is, if I change here, you see the other size changed. But what I want to do is to do the inverse. So edit driver, let's do yeah, it said that you have to do that, but that should work. So basically let's give a scripted expression here, so default value, and how do you do this? It's just the inverse, right? It's called default value, right? So basically I'm not sure my math is right here. Error, no, this is not even, what's the name of the, well, this is the variable, right? The var. So default, let's try something simple, +1. Okay, that works, so it gets somewhere else. So instead that will be, no, it's not a question of multiplying, because the original value is something arbitrary, it's 0.5, so we just need to, it's not a case of, I mean, the center is 0.5, so it's just that I need to add the same 0.3 times 2, that's it. And let's do this. And there we go. So it goes to maybe wrong. I calculated something wrong. So oh yes, it's adding here, of course. Hold on, it needs to go. Okay, 0.3. It needs to go. No, I exaggerate. It just needs to go to 0.7. It's just a wrong calculation. 0.2. Now, yes. So now if I change this, copy. Well, yes, you see it's mimicking the, even though they go in opposite direction, doesn't matter, the position is equivalent. And so here for the other one, I could even make a third one. These are all gradient texture. I just reuse some, so I'll show everything here, but I'm just fixing that smartly, as smart as I can with this driver. And then here we have a value that is a bit more annoying, so copy as new driver, then okay, I'll copy that and then paste driver. So this will be from 0.5 to 0.7676. That means that we have a plus 0.24, no, 26. So we need to do a negative 0.26. Edit driver, so get default value. Then in this case it will be minus, then we get 0.26 times 2, and there we go. And now if I move here, this one, so they move. Of course this inversion is not, oh, maybe I can do something about that, right? Yeah, unfortunately it is just for this, so maybe I can improve that calculation, but for now, yes, I need to improve that calculation because actually this is not working. So if I add, let's fix that real quick. So basically if I add here, what I expect is that one to go in the other direction, right, that it moves. So the driver here is actually the default value minus, but then if I do that, of course it doesn't work. I need to change the formula, so basically otherwise I don't really need that. It just maybe I should do something like, so 0.5 is the main, oh, you started with the constant, right, and then negative default value. Times 2. No. Okay, it is not the same, it is the other one. Okay, so it is going even more to the wrong direction, so it's not, in this case it is plus, but it's not time 2, so just that, it's time 1. And so if I get here, well, still not. I'm doing something terribly wrong here. Problem is I don't know the values of the UV. Let's try it again. I tried positive and negative. Constant. Okay, let's see if I need to neutralize the driver. Disable it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the negative, this is actually going to the right, and the positive is going to the left. Oh, I see. And while this a positive, okay, positive is that, so it's the inverse here. Positive, it's correct here, but there is the inverse. Okay, so we need, so 0.3, here will be 0.7. Alright, so let's start again with the constant. What is the default value exactly? The default value might be the whole thing. It already includes this thing, maybe. Oh, I need to edit here. Okay, this seems to be organized, except that they are inverting. So basically I go edit driver, minus itself, 0.2 times negative value itself. That will totally inverse the thing, right? Yeah. Maybe a sheet of paper to make the formula, because here I can't visualize in this digital medium here. So if I negate, this will go to its 0 position, which is this. Yes. So this is 0, but actually the correct would be so okay, so 0.5, it is taking off, it is reproducing, right? It takes the 0.5 and takes off 2, therefore I cannot add another or multiply default values here to be, so I need to, it is a chunk of stuff here. So maybe I add. No, but I need it to go here. So I add. I add a negation, negative value. That will be. But this is. Oh yes, I'm changing the default value. So why by 2? Because I need to invert. Oh, and this value is actually arbitrary. This is the input I place. Okay, anyways, let's try here. It goes negative, and that's not good. Still bad. What is going wrong? Default value. I thought the. Oh, of course, and it needs to go to the positive. So let's do this again. 0.2 times. Okay, but this is what I did in the beginning. So as I add, but the way it moves in sync regarding the values here. However, it doesn't, it goes in the wrong direction, each input. So I need to this is the output of the driver. I can't just place a negative here. Yeah, so then it grows positively, but I want it to grow negatively as I... It looks like there are stacking problems here. I need something outside of this. If I cannot divide this thing, it will not make sense. Yeah, so one of the main problems that when I take this, I'm taking, and when I bring the default value I want to be changing, so the default value is a variable that yeah, okay, this is taking too long. I need to think better about that. So in principle, drivers, long time I don't work with that. I have had other successful approach with that, but let's leave just like that. Let's go to the what matters here. Wasn't able to automate this time, but another tackle. Last time I tackled it, maybe outside the stream. Then I show what that is. So let me present how this shading is done. Well, it will be for this one as I go then to update this one. So there are many things going on. I'll also be organizing my stuff here, folks. So first, yeah, we got this eye. Let's create a shining glowing star, which is the, how do you call it, the highlight. So it starts out pretty simple because we have, no, this is not pretty simple, this is not the right one. So what I need to differentiate for the mesh object, you see this is a mask texture, but it's procedural. I could gain a lot of time if this was instead done just by image texture. So basically you have here a control T, right, from you have the gradient texture. So this is a common method, so very accurate. So we create a texture here for the mapping, so this is control T, right? If you have the control T, if you have the, and control shift here is okay. This won't destroy anything because it's just X, right, taking many outputs but can only take one input. So in the logic of Blender, and I think lots of maths depends on that. Okay, so this is then the gradient, which is spherical. Then where this goes to a color ramp. Well, ignore the other things. So basically also going to, so color, sclera and iris. I'm gonna delete this box because I want to reorganize these setups a little. So basically color ramp, okay, for the gradient texture. What it is doing, I should name this, right? So this is the I don't like this gradient texture. It's the iris, yeah, iris sclera. So this is the differentiation of boundaries, and the text doesn't with the, then this does this, and for some reason I don't know why I've decided to have this grayish part here. Maybe it was a mistake, so I'm not gonna touch the positions here. I'm using B-spline, don't know why, because, well, it's, by testing it appeared better. So just here could be anything. That seems to be I wanted some smoothness. So the problem is that then this passes through an inversion, which is also very common. So the white is what we want to include, and the inversion, and I'm a bit lost of what that means, but we'll find, eventually we'll find out. So oh, actually this is the, okay, the white is the sclera, of course. Wait, yeah, no, it is inverted. So usually the white in the texture is the, you see, I'm very confused about this. I'm sort of new to this to shading in Blender. Not that new, I've been messing around with it a lot, but it's not I'm far from expert, but I'm able to solve problems, like thanks to some studies last year and this year. So I just want to rename this in a proper way. I'm trying to find out if what comes first is the yeah, I think it's iris sclera, so the sclera is the secondary. Okay, then we got an inversion, and that inversion, the only thing it is going is to a mix shader also. So this is, yeah, this is getting pretty confusing. This is something I've done recently. Then we have, oh, this is the final. Okay, so this inversion here that we see here, what this is trying to do, yeah, it's inverting this thing. Let's save here and yeah, so what this is playing out is 100%, right? It is getting this thing to become a okay, this ignore, it goes to a mix shader. This mix shader, where it is going there, yes, okay, it is mixing some other stuff that we need to address, is the iris and something else, but let's ignore. So this is the, there's not enough space, but I need to organize this thing in some way. Okay, so this is taking this principal BSDF is the holds something very important, which is here the roughness. So what I did here was I tried to bring, so this inverted gradient texture here with color ramp and then inversion, so that I could wait, where is the, what is going to the roughness? Roughness was another idea. Okay, because I wanted to add, you see there's this reflection from the lights, but so these are these two things which are additional. I have to remap each one of them to different values, so that however I control the size with this thing. So you see another gradient texture, but that needs to be mapped differently. So I guess I needed to make a new one for each other. I can still do something here. Let's get this one to be here and here. This is okay. Just simplifying this. So these are those tiny things there, so not super important, each one of them, and this is just for the right eye, the left eye, sorry, this is the right eye, and then I basically duplicate and just have to adapt the X location here in principle. And okay, so gradient, so I had to make these gradients here. Well, this could be the, okay, let's simplify here. Oh no, they need to be different because each gradient are taking their own, right? So yeah, I think I cannot reuse the same, because it can only take one input anyways, so it's not possible. Then for example this one, these are the shining things, but as soon as I get the color ramp, it becomes same as this one, right? So you see the white. So here for some reason I can control the scale, I don't have to change it here. No, because it's just not the one that I'm working with. This is the, yeah, so you see. Alright, then these are being mixed, is that correct? Yes, they are being added, so this is a color mix node in which I found that this exclusion worked, so I'm not sure the logic here exactly. For me it would be adding, but I think because they are sort of the inversion of what I want, so it's not add, it's like I'm picking those information, visual information there, these areas from both, and excluding everything else. So the factor, one in relation to the other, so they sort of combine. I don't like this because I don't see the Venn diagram, so you know, circle with circle intersection. So for me this is those stuff always in digital. For me this stuffs are very it's not very mathematical for me, because there are other concepts here that are hard to do. Gotta specialize in color stuff here, digital computer science to know this. Artists know, of course, and developers, but I just don't play too much with Photoshop and stuff like that, so I missed that class basically, so I struggle to catch this concept. But okay, I think we so this is basically, I just want to make a union between these two whites. So what is essentially what is also I find super complicated, why the apparently if we get this in here, that would make a different result. And yeah, for me this is just, I don't know. Okay, so apparently I messed with my something. Oh, it went with the FAQ. Okay, this is not the case. Let's try again. Okay, that works too. Okay, so maybe I don't know, I never understand this, but okay, this, I don't know, this usually one day I'll catch that, but for me this is super confused. It's already confusing that you have this kind of stuff. Okay, so they are union, so for me this is union, right? Why complicate? So then okay, but it's exclusion, it's not union. Maybe if I did the inverse, right folks? Okay, I'm gonna try here. So let's copy this, paste this and place it here, copy this, and then I get nothing changed. Okay, now there are black spots, but extension is, and I didn't need to invert. Maybe this will cause some problem. So apparently their behavior is okay. I don't know which was the. Okay, my Blender crashed. This file is already gigantic, because I think it's more because of the green span, so it's more than 100 megabytes. Surprisingly, I don't know what is. I believe it's the excessive amount of. Okay, the whites were there, but I inverted and this kept happening. So this is working apparently. Even if we invert this, so this is not related to if the white is before, and so it is this thing that matters, I think. Okay, so I've started here because then we can organize this stuff better, right? So start from, so these are the things that, okay, this is glossy, all right. I want to, this was an attempt, so you got basically an emission shader. Okay, so there are mixing here, mix shader, so that we get an emission white here for those things. Strength doesn't really matter, I think, and glossy you get some, and I can change the roughness here, so it's not something like that I tested. So this combination, and then the mix shader, then something that maybe, so there will be some slight transparency to that, and it is taking, because it's those are shaders, they are being affected by the color anyways, right? Since here, because it becomes a shader, the light of the world, right, environment light, color light, all this affecting this stuff, those shadings. So here I could get something else here, but I thought that glossy could work. And why do I have this roughness, by the way? Yeah, anyways, this was something that I thought I was testing out. So this, probably there are many ways to do this much better. So here this sort of just limited. Maybe if I did just another principal BSDF, that might be better. Glass shader, I think there's a glass shader. Glass BSDF, yeah, maybe this one. So let's get this in the, let's take this off, then connect here, and then mix here. Roughness, here I don't really know which kind of, maybe this is a better result, I don't know. So let's just cheat here and see directly what that is doing. Yeah, and there's the mix. This roughness, can it help anyhow? Then, oh, you see that these things are affecting, and yeah, this stuff is affecting the, I knew something was wrong. So now let's, apparently I can't manage this. It is affecting the rest for some reason that I'm not sure. So just get here, let's get this back. Okay, so you see there's less affection there on the iris shader, so nodes, right? So the appearance, so you have this, but anisotropy, I'm not sure this will help anyhow. And then I just don't, well, it's taking the color, you see a very slight transparency, so maybe this is cool. It could have, but then it is too pale. I want something brighter, so something like here, should be nice. And roughness, if I just reduce too much the roughness, it sort of loses. It would make sense, but then it starts to have some strange effects. So maybe I should reduce the roughness and then just augment this. In the end, that will be more or less the same rate. Finding some equilibrium. And also, yeah. So I don't want it total white. I want to have some. Oh yes, the transparency will be seen better if there is more roughness apparently. So, or it's not very clear, right? Okay, so I sort of lost my setup, but I can still compare with the it would be this value and then FAC 0.64. Something like that, but it doesn't seem to respond to. Yeah, so let's just leave it like that. Then I can just alright, if I'm not satisfied, anyways, those things just copy paste from one to the other. Or in the end, if I fix these things, I can just okay, so by now then we have this mix. What this is doing, this is an exclusion, so this is another color mix that is leading to an inversion that is going. Okay, so this is the here what I want is to bring this stuff there to, so this black is the absence of roughness basically. So exclusion, this is important to name. So this is the roughness, it will be the roughness of the BSDF. However, as we go to the roughness, oh yes, the black, all right, hold on, the black is the absence of roughness. So but the roughness is the inverse. The roughness is, so here's the lack of roughness. It's that will make all these areas that are in white to shine. So the roughness goes, so it's a roughness map procedurally made, and then this BSDF, which is the iris, the sclera, I think the combination of everything, maybe, I'm not totally sure. Then it will, okay, mix with some other stuff there, which doesn't matter. Then they will add to they will remix with all this, with these things which are glowing. Maybe they didn't need, but they had, well, they have the roughness, right? The roughness map. But the problem is that these are going thinking about it. Yeah, I remember why I did that. So if I, for example, if I ignore those things, and then what I do is to try to bring this just to the right as it is, so black, darker, not white, is the roughness, low roughness. Unfortunately we don't see the value here, but it will be very, yeah, here. So I'm having a mask here, and we are looking at the mask, right? So roughness map. So let's say that I ignore this thing here. I'm gonna mute, and I'm gonna bring directly. So what was happening is that, okay, this area indeed has more reflections because it has lower roughness. However, and unfortunately that doesn't glow. And so how do I take that off the principal BSDF now? I don't know how. This is a shader, there's not more color, so this is why I needed to unmute that. So actually it's not this one. Okay, I need to reconnect here. So this is why these things need to be remixed, so they will not just be give some roughness. Well, maybe there would be another, if I could add the same thing to, there's an emission here, right folks? So maybe, and specular. So maybe if I can turn this in maps, additional maps, let's try that. So yeah, let's take this off. I think I have tried, but to no avail, because maybe I need a color ramp for that, I'm not sure. But okay, this is not what I need here, it's this. So I'm gonna do the same. I think I've already tried, so I need to add to emission, actually not this, but color and strain. Okay, then I'm taking some strange stuff. That it is using all the other stuff, right? So I can't use the same here apparently. Although for the roughness that will be fine, but not for the, with a more reinvestigation of all that. Okay, what's happening here? I don't know what happened. Oh, this is lacking, no? Something about this BSDF got messed up with this emission. Oh, this is emission value here, of course. Now it seems to be completely messed up. No, this is working. Okay, so yeah, so no emission. All right, so that means that here So apparently then the sclera also gets high on reflection, which I'm not really sure that it is what is happening for some other reason. So this is okay, let's try to actually this is the real thing here. And this, well, this is just going towards roughness, so those are, yeah, it's not a case where I'm yeah, and this I place here because it's easier to see. Alright, and then we have this in the end, which is like the final. Okay, and what is this? Yeah, okay, gradient iris sclera. This is the mapping node, color ramp of the then the inversion, then this is those kind of mask maps, right? A color map, but it is masking. This will then mix with these shaders so that, and then we'll just add this, so add shader, this is add the how to say, circle pupil glow. Yeah, so this adds the pupil glows. And mix shader, this will what does this one do? So apparently this is this shader is not doing, it's just mixing here. I don't like to change those things. Yeah, so it's just a equalizer here for, okay, it's mixing the principal shader with the color. This might be strange actually. Yeah, this mix shader is strange. That is the way I found to mix the sclera with the, after what I've did here. So what if I, oh wait, it is FAC and shader. I cannot explain this. Oh no, the fact was, it was not a fact. It was just this. Okay, now we'll go for finally for something more interesting. But let's add this stuff, right? So basically, it would be, and why this color of the sclera is going here for this exclusion, because then I'm reusing this particular gradient here to be added to these two, each one of them. So here is like the ultimate combination. Also, let's bring these things back, and so they keep aligned properly, so get a better understanding. Although here that is a bit messy, let's leave like that. So I want to, so this is what, so this is exclusion again, so this is, but this is a special thing. This is go just for the roughness of the BSDF. So those things, they got more reflectiveness on the, besides the fact they also will have glossy. So in principle maybe we wouldn't need this. So maybe if I take this off, you see this, it still works, but then maybe I thought that by doing this we get some, yeah, it's very subtle, so maybe it was better before. Maybe this is not really, oh actually this is important because these adds, oh now I remember. So you see, I was wrong folks, sorry. I don't understand my own shading system. Okay, I'm learning in the process. So the, hope you can follow here. So what this is for, this is not for shining those things only. This is to create this glow here. You see those lightings, those reflections? These are from the world. The lights that I have some square lights there, area light, square, and so very important. And this I've decided, how will I want to have those reflections, but only for the iris. So that's why I made this exclusion roughness map. However, I'm gonna rename even better roughness. Yeah, actually is iris reflections world. Yeah, it's terrible naming here, but if there's no exclusion written, then I probably won't know what it is, and I hate that. So this is so you see, these reflections are will not be included, because here is my mask map. So the roughness is lowest on the iris. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here, folks. This thing, the reflections should stack on those ones, so I don't need to add this up. So instead I could perhaps, let's try this. I'll go directly here. Yes, so I have the reflection entirely on the iris. And as I do here, there will be stacking reflections, which could be, we don't really see, yeah, there is. Okay, so maybe this is positive. Yeah, so actually this was a mistake. So that's why we can simplify this. So I don't need this one. Actually, wait. Yes, I don't need this one here. Apparently this is going nowhere. So yeah, let's just delete this and leave as it is. So one less complication here. The question is, can I don't have a BSDF, right? So glossy BSDF, yeah, I have glossy, but emission BSDF. If I could turn this into a BSDF, would that work? Be any useful? I'm not sure, so I'm gonna ignore that. And so iris, this is not exclusion, this is wait. Oh, this is an inversion, right? Right? Yes, this is an invert node. I don't know why maybe I just copy paste. So yeah, it's an invert node, just as this one. So basically this inversion would, well, it is the same here, but they are for different purposes, I think. This Y, but we could use the same, right, instead of. So for example, yeah, they are totally the same, so just in terms of, so one is roughness and the other is becoming a shader. This map as a shader for what? For the sclera. There's no diffusion color as a shader. This doesn't look very useful. Let's see. Let's ignore this. So let's bring this one here. Oh, I see. The sclera, because so okay, so this is actually the sclera. So I need this color is the so this for now. There might be a better way. So this is like mix shader iris pupil plus sclera. Yeah, this is what it is. Although this comes as a shader and this one is a color because it's very simplistic. That could be improved, but for now I don't feel like doing it. Alright, how is the adding of these? I think it's Control G? No, it's Control J. It's from, okay, so I'm gonna rename this as the name this as pupils glow. Yeah, no, pupils glow. Pupil glows. Yeah, because it's just for one pupil here, but there are two glows. Okay, then I don't like how this stays there, glued there, but okay. Then this will stay separate. So this is the sclera thing to get. This is separating, so this is have multiple functionalities, and color ramp here. Then yeah, so most thing here these are, I need to take them off here. Alt P, so they get out of that. Yeah, so this one is a bit tricky because there's too many things going on. This is related to the iris, so it's no more related to the sclera directly, but then it goes to the sclera, right? So it's sclera and non-sclera thing, so this is why maybe it's better just to have a second one. So I'm gonna invert color, sclera shader, fake shade, yeah, sclera color map. It's not exactly a color map, right? Yeah, it is a color map actually. Fake color map, but so instead this goes there. So this is more hierarchically important, while this one goes, we got here, no, got here, right? This mix shader, what's happening here? No, this is wrong. There we go, except this one, this goes to the roughness. Yes, and this goes to the Alright, then, okay, the roughness. Then we see, let's bring this down to, wait, this is inverted. Hold on, this goes here, and this goes here. There we go. Let's bring this back. Bring it down, and now let's join this. Control J, this will be called the, and this is, what is this? Yeah, this is going to some crazy stuff. Let's move this back there for a moment. We'll find out what are those interactions. This is iris, so we'll rename this group here. Why I can select here. This is sclera. All about sclera would be here, sort of. Then iris, this is interesting. Yeah, let's move this forward. Actually, for sclera, maybe I should Alt P that, because this is iris sclera stuff. And this is just sclera, and this is just iris. So if I am allowed to do something that is clear enough with that, that will be good. Okay, here we can do a Control G sclera iris, and maybe even something else. What is this overlay? Ah, this is beautiful thing. This is something I found a way to do this. It's not completed here. There are some methods. This is for the develop the iris procedurally. It's very interesting because the problem that I have is that the tutorials usually they imply that I've seen, they usually imply that the eye is a sphere, then they use the object mapping because it's a sphere or something like that, that will help irradiating the thing in a certain way. But because I don't have that sphere or something like that, I need to get from, for example, this texture, this central point, and then make something radiate from that. And so this was kind of tricky to find out. So I did this in this way. I tried to combine with the radial gradient, but then I was having problem with the mapping vector stuff, and the information didn't match with what I needed. So in the end I decided to make a radial gradient texture. I saw that exists, but I had to find a way to get this. So texture coordinate here doesn't really matter. Gradient texture have this strange radial thing. So instead of spherical or quadratic sphere, get radial, and then the color ramp doing something like that. Very difficult it was to, super annoying, I mean, to do this. Here we could, yeah, this, why, I don't even know why this is different. Okay, let's leave it at 1. Then, okay, texture, because point, maybe it's not very accurate yet. So apparently with get texture is better. So this can be improved even more, but for now we get these patterns. That's then this was a bit tricky. Yeah, all this was tricky for me to achieve. So then when at some point we get this power which will do nothing. Well, alone it doesn't do nothing, but here you see if I hide, for some reason it's not doing anything indeed. Okay, but you see there's some way to, so I tried all of, not all, but a lot of stuff until I got something interesting here. So you see that what is happening. So why when I mute, oh yeah, there is a difference. Okay, from the color ramp and the, all right, so I couldn't find a way to get those things more. So this is another of those masking things, right? Mask maps, and then I get here the, oh, this is about the iris texture. So this is okay. These are the last things that I was doing before I went to stream. And then okay, so we got this which is I found from a tutorial, this overlay technique, but I'm using instead, they use some sort of a combination of noise texture with a then here is normal, I don't, and with a Voronoi texture here. I couldn't reproduce this because of the object, they used the object thing here. So I had to find another solution procedurally. If I just made this with image texture, right? Yes, I could totally paint, have a color map like that. That would be manually, yeah, for the iris. But I was stubborn, and let's do this procedurally. Even it should be possible, and it was. But there are some things that I maybe can improve. The cool thing is that we can do a lot of things just with that. So the problem then was, okay, I centralized that just as the mapping for the complicated here, right? And this mapping, well, it is the same. Let's reuse that then. Oh yes, I can bring that. It's UV, yes, we can bring it to here. Yes, I think it's doing the same thing. So we can delete this, simplifying here. Let's come back with the soundtrack. So this highlight is becoming very, very long, but sorry, this is not to be a tutorial, right? Just a highlight of something that we can learn in detail. So then this, if anyone has patience enough. So, but the thing here is that this is, my explanation is there because I'm very noobish as this at this nodes here in Blender. All right. So I need the iris stuff. Okay, so this is what it's usually simpler and very funny actually to do. Let's Alt P this. I don't like this. So this is redistributing. Can I don't know how to change that, so I'll just ignore. So here we got the, maybe I can reposition this. Yeah, maybe something like that, maybe. Okay, I'm trying to organizing what is the iris here. Okay, so all this relates to the iris. This relates to the iris, but this is the color ramp of the pupil iris. So this is the separation, right? It's difficult to understand, but this is the actually I don't even understand. Oh yeah, it is dark there. Now it is bluish there because anyways that will be it will be negated by this inversion here. No, it's not the case. Alt P again, Alt P. Yeah, I hate to change those things. Okay, so here we see this is indeed the pupil, and this, yeah, and this will be the scholar. But if we look at here, it goes to the right, technically to the end of the mesh towards infinite, so it doesn't. So this is like, it's not that it doesn't include the sclera, but it will be neutralized. So color ramp, this is iris pupil, essentially, to play with those. And then instead of looking at that, we'll look where it is combined, and then recombined, and then recombine with the sclera. Then you see, then the sclera appears. So this, the principal BSDF. So let's go the inverse way. What is the base color? The roughness we already know, right? Is the shining of the iris plus pupil from word lights. So low roughness, actually very low roughness, especially in the center of the pupil. It's nearly zero, should be even total black. So we have this variation of roughness, but it's very low roughness overall in this iris pupil regions anyway, so we can have these reflections by nature on the same mesh, on the same, yeah, just the node system, right? So here then this is related to iris and pupil, so this will be iris pupil thing, even though they come from different, right, they don't connect here. And why they don't connect is because this is not an interesting color map for me, because all the rest is too dark. So this is more a color thing, a color map, and this is more like a mask map. Yeah, it's a roughness map. Roughness map indeed, right? So this is so important to mention, so that I'll take this gigantic, I would like that to have more space to write that. There's grouping nodes, but I don't like the grouping system so far, because I prefer to currently, right? I just find it more complicated than it needed, but it's useful sometimes to combine. I prefer this system here, of the how do you call that add-on, right? Inbuilt add-on. Alright, and then iris pupil. Okay, we already know what we're doing here. Let's get this to the Control G already. Iris pupil. It's never stay. Okay, doesn't matter. Then it is not over, because this is already also to be put inside, right? I already showed what was that. Radial texture, color ramp, power, and power that to the power, right? And then overlay. So this is mixing. This is why I'm retaking this mapping here of the spherical, which is not the radial. So this is spherical with the radial, passed by all this color ramp, power, and stuff. Then this is an overlay that's, in this case, will I'm trying to factor here, maximize. So there are many patterns here, but some will just not work. We can, don't know. Some might be really beautiful for some iris stylized, so I intend to be playing with this more, but the idea, this I got from the tutorial, and some will just be too dramatical, not doing exactly what. And sometimes it affects beyond. So this is a problem of the system I have here, the setup. So it's not excluding the sclera. I just did something wrong. So I'm limited here in what I need, but just a few will do. So this one is, and of course I can play more with this. So it's not perfect yet, but when you see here, it looks very promising. But then it's not over, then there is also let's add this to the here, right? Alright, so there is this overlay thing, and this is another mixer. Let's move this down. Let's try to... Yes, so then from this I'm mixing the color with this. Subtract, I don't remember why I had this one, but apparently that would go to the color of the BSDF node, shader node. So basically, yeah, so this is the base color map, right? The final color map for the BSDF. So subtract, so this is a color mix node, this color map, final color map, and you see base color, and this subtract, to be fair, I don't remember what. Yeah, I think it's because it's the only thing that, again, because of the limitations that I had in the stuff, it was the way to have this stuff properly added to the principle in a way that would work well with what I had. So if I get something like, okay, I could play with the factor, but you see it gets, so apparently this was better than overlay. That would create some, not be so interesting. Then lighten, yeah, then this, you see, it takes it front, so we need maybe other stuff, but this is a compound color map, so it's actually, if I reach this, if I invert everything, it will be chaos. So this is just the taking of this, but it's not doing the proper mixing that I would like to have, and some ones are start to become interesting, but they are so subtle that it's hard to use. So again, the other same problem there. So I found that this pattern here is actually interesting, beautiful, subtle but beautiful. So I think that can be totally used for at least one character. And then, so this is the final, yeah, compound color map. So this will be, ideally I need to solve these problems or make this more versatile before we reach here. So this is iris purple. So as you see, by breaking down everything, we end up with something. Yeah, so here is like the final stages, right? So don't really need to make those groups. So that was highly organizing. And this is just a loose texture image that apparently that works when you go to some, well, it is working here. Texture DorTI01 is the same. PNG flat, closest flat extent. It's something that it gets validated for some reason in one eye and not in the other. I just don't know. Maybe it needs to connect. Yeah, there we go. So this is just a loose for just this, right? If I want to try some workbench simple rendering, which is sometimes nice, or just to be looking at the eyes. So this is our image texture, so this is not the same here, although the sizes are mostly equal in another method. And by just having the image texture here, it is sufficient that so it appears there. So I don't know, this is strange behavior but in Blender, but that works. Then here what I'm going to do is I'm not gonna rebuild this entirely, so I'm going to bring back here. Okay, I'm gonna bring this value here. I still have delete drivers. Okay, this could become a problem. So I'll copy this one, the X, and 0.7 here. Alright, so I'm going to take this off. Let's go to the here, and you see it's invert, so duplicate this one. Let's lock, and then here change, copy paste here, and this will be 0.7. There we go. And I'm not sure that it should be equivalent, but I'm not seeing the lighting is different on that side. There are much more shadows, so maybe that's why it's not reflecting. We don't see. Yeah, there are. Yeah, it's not that. It's completely reflective. It's just there are no lights from that angle to reflect. So we can probably improve that in some sense, but otherwise, so that will be the solution for the pupils for now. Then with posing, we'll see if that looks good enough. There'll be, to be fair, a lot of things to improve here, but I think it's the best eye shading that I've made so far with all those effects. And so on purpose I've decided, according to the tutorials I was looking, just to have the roughness map different on the iris pupil thing, so we have this interaction. Very interesting, besides these glowing circles. Alright folks, let's go back. Finally I concluded this long highlight here. Let's go now to the where's this? Okay, shading. Yeah, this is completed. Need to get here. Aisha skin texture. So the eyelashes would be closer to our topic here. For this one, I don't think, yeah, so let's, yeah, it's feasible to do this today. I want to do that indeed. My idea was to have some rough work on this material, so making a new shader especially for that with some sort of transparency, like there are some tutorials that work with that. So let's do select linked by material, and my Blender crashed, so I needed to these need some sort of UV unwrap, unless, yeah, probably that would need some, okay, but we need some, yeah, those seams are completely wrong, so let's fix that. Clear seam. So just to make sure we got stuff in order, I'm gonna make the contours here. Alright, and that should be enough. There is the possibility of having this solidified, but I'm not gonna bother with that, so this is another problem that I need to investigate further on the kind of rig that I do for eyes rig, right? Eyelids, eyelashes, all that. So let's try to do some, wait, what is, I don't have a, no, this is the no texture involved yet. So unwrap, maybe I can do this. Let's make sure the normals are correct. Yes. Shift F10 here. No, this is the, all right. UV editor, then the image editor. Let's save here. So if I go on the shading, already on the shading, so apparently there exists already a material for the eyelashes, and I think I'm using it somewhere else, so this is a complete mess. So I'm gonna make a duplicate here. I'm gonna change this to eyelash sketchy, yeah, because this is relates to the, that way I know the names, right? Yes, and let's protect that, so it won't, when I start, I'll change the other one also. Let's go to the, I hope nothing on the body had this material. I guess not. But maybe other materials, other objects would have this. Maybe some cloth. There we go. So I'm gonna change this to something wine. Material that I'm not working, I'll use it for something. So there's a diffuse, so I don't know that it'll be relevant. Glow, BSDF, glossy, I don't know, we can start with the diffuse, right? And the color, I'm not sure, let's make it darker, that looks nice. Then roughness, maybe more roughness, I don't know. Then here let's add this image text. Oh, I couldn't try to do this procedural, but this will be tricky because have the mapping, right? Okay, let's see what we can achieve here. So maybe if I add some sort of let's try with what is the name of that? It probably won't work, but wave texture, yeah, wave texture might be nice. Let's try immediately. Control T, map from UV. Okay, this already gives some kind of then let's do some maybe texture, don't know. Let's do some rotation. No, this is not working. Wait, this is working. Okay, okay, that's gonna be, maybe that's solve the problem. Of course, scale, now let's do a value here. What's the, maybe the, not for the Z, but I've learned how to do cross-hatch texture, but yeah, so I have like to bring like double of that, right? So maybe triple, I don't know. It will be much easier with some of course, let's get a color ramp maybe. Oh, there's bands, rings. Maybe yeah, if I get Y bands, that's, we don't need to change that. This is the scale, so we can, I'm not liking, so let's change. Oh, there's a scale here too, right? Distortion, maybe not. Detail, I don't know. Detail scale, no. Detail roughness, phase. Okay, so then maybe I can reuse this. So let's do this. So this is how I've learned on a tutorial regarding those things. Let's do a color mix node, mix color, so that we can combine this by doing some here we got a problem. Yeah, I wanted to cross those things, but I will have to not crossing this way. I don't have a change of angle here, so actually we'll have to, yeah, no way. I think must solve here from some sort of, what is, I think that's the Z, right? The combination doesn't seem good. Maybe it's not the mix color that I need. Maybe, yeah, exactly. We need something else. Let's see, multiply, no. Or it is the factor. Yeah, certainly not those ones. Not those ones too, so maybe where's first here, so darken, add something, multiply can work then. Soft light was, yeah, no, just, and color burn, no, just multiply should be okay. Factor, and then here let's change this. Yeah, this is not so simple. As I thought. So let's do another one. I think this will, oh, maybe just change scale here. I have something more smoother. Let's try again with this one. Except that this also need, we cannot triple that, so I need to combine here with this and this. Okay, I'm gonna save and something doesn't seem to be working here. No, this is the location maybe. No, it's like it's not doing anything. Strange. Maybe it's the multiply. Yeah, maybe multiply over multiply is really not so great thing. So let's try here, save, and it's still not seeing the change. Maybe this mix node. Yeah, there's something about this. Something about this wave texture that it's... Oh, it is... Well, of course, it is missing. Do you know... Hello, Anim Final Lab, welcome. Do you know make mouth, how to make mine? Blink, can blink? Oh, the eyes. Okay, these the character is not rigged yet. But yes, I know some ways of doing mouth rig, and unless you mean mouth modeling. And blink, yes, so this character is not rigged yet for, but I can... There are many techniques that in Blender to make the blinking. I would have another project here. Hold on, let me show some... Oh, Blender crashed. Let's see here. So if I have the... I hope this will be rigged. It will be... This, I think I've deleted the rig, so this template here, date modified, yes, here. I think this has something. So what I do, I use the shrink wrap for the... In this case, there's some problems in the mod. This is an old version, but yes, I have. You can find me there. I'm on those. If you look on those Blender Discord, the blue Blender Discord and Blender community, right? You can find me with that, you know, those two forums, right? So here, let me show you how that works here. Hold on, need to go to the control eyes. Yes, so here I have this system that allows for, it's not super accurate here, but you get the idea. We can pose the... Let's simplify this. There are some animation, disable the wiggle bones. So this system here use shrink wrap modifier to the eyelids mesh, right? So you have here the shrink wrap. This way you can use shrink wrap with also shrink wrap modifier along with shape keys. That will also work. So the mesh of the eyelids, like here, this mesh of the eyelids, it will keep snapping continuously to the eye surface, even if the eye is not round. If the eye is something like that, or not a spherical shape, so then we can, with the shrink wrap feature, we can also make it with shrink wrap bone constraints, but it's a bit more complicated because then we have to have more bones shrink wrapping, deform bones shrink wrapping, right? Deform bones with a shrink wrap bone constraint. This shrink wrap bone constraint here is for a control bone here. It's not even for an eyelid's bone that deform the eyelid. So instead of so in this rig I'm using this, just the shrink wrap modifier, which is, you see, the eyelids mesh would follow the curvature of the eye, whichever is, in a very natural, yeah, very naturally. You see, so this is a, I have made a tutorial on this, but it's very long, but yeah, you can, and also I have a on my channel there is some link to Gumroad. You can download a version of this kind of rig for the eyelids, a very different, and see exactly how that works. I've made a version with the shrink wrap modifier and version with shrink wrap bone constraint. The shrink wrap bone constraint version, at least we can export the rig, you know, bake 3D animation for game engines. I believe that will be the case, but this with shrink wrap modifier, because it uses object modifier, that will just for use inside Blender. Yeah, so here is not perfect because this model I was retaking, but it can be much better than that. But there we go, eyelids, they are totally following the curvature. Sometimes there can be some intersection, but that's the way that I use this stuff. And for melt rig here I'm using, if you're still there, I'm using, this is also not complete, but I have I'm exploring a different solution now with geometry nodes, which but this is the universal sonic mount rig. Let's see, a very interesting, but it's very complicated. And I've added here its challenges. So if you have a simpler character design, simpler than what I have here, then it will be much easier to implement. Otherwise it's super complicated, and so I could never finish it completely because there are too much things going on. But I eventually I achieved, we can combine it with shape keys, right? But personally I was trying to avoid the use of shape keys for, and maybe this is why I could never achieve the totally what I really wanted. Just why those all bones here. Let's simplify this. Yeah, so the universal sonic mount rig would allow to bring the mount to the side, something like that. Here there's some, long time I don't see this file, but there are yeah, this is not good. There's something that I've made to the deforms that are not working, but at some stage of this I made sure that it was working quite well. The mouth has two mesh. Yeah, so you know the, yeah, there are more mesh. There are teeth mesh. There is yeah, there the muzzle, right? In the universal sonic mouth rig, the muzzle has got, it has a this kind of thing. So the it's also used as shrink wrap modifier. It's different from the eyelids rig that I've presented there, but it relates, right? It's sort of, the mouth is much more difficult than the eyes rig, the eyelids rig, I think, because the mouth topology in principle is a hole, and while the eyelids, well, there is a hole too, but it's different because the mouth needs to have some volume depending on the cartoon. So my biggest problem was because I was trying to achieve that volume properly on all possible interesting poses, and to some extent I was able to. So in the end I found a different approach to this using geometry nodes, but I don't think I have the file here to, these are the other version. So here there's a lot of things going on. We can do some quite cool expression, although it's not perfect. I could never complete this particular rig, but we can do a lot of interesting stuff. And there will be twig clips, there's even some muzzle. So I sort of combined the universal sonic mouth rig with my own preference, right, on a custom rig like this. So it's actually a very, very cool setup, very powerful, but it's very easy to mess everything up. So it's super complicated, and if my model sheet was, if my design was a little more simple, or maybe if I just decide to use shape keys, I would be able to obtain much easier results. So right now, so I'm how to make the mouth muzzle. Alright, so first you have the model right here, then the mouth muzzle, at least in the universal sonic mouth rig, right, the second mesh. Basically it's you just pick the mesh of the muzzle, like here in the, you have to select everything like here, right, in an organized way, of course, not this mesh, but like all that will be important to be deforming as the muzzle. So maybe some mesh here on the nose, maybe not the nose, but maybe yes, it will. It depends on the character design, right? Because in Sonic, the nose is actually perhaps a different mesh. So okay, so the muzzle, we copy all that, something like that. Duplicate. Oops, I don't. Why I can't duplicate? The active shape key. Oh, it's locked. Okay, let's. So there's a shape key here. Let's unlock those things. Okay, Shift D, then separate by selection. Then you have screencast key, so you can see the. Okay, then I need to go on object mode. Then you have here, and then this mesh becomes the new muzzle. Of course, I have another muzzle here. This one. So what I did was I placed this on the object data here, object properties, then show as wire, display as wire. So instead of display as the same stuff, you display as wire, so it stopped being annoying, right? It becomes something like that on object mode, right? So then if you need to remake this mesh, which is very time consuming, maybe some mesh was changed, I don't know, then you do that, you get the mesh there and you just, like, let's say enter here, I'm not gonna delete it, but let's say I deleted that, but I still have the object. So I just pick the duplicated mesh, there it is here, that I've made, then I click here. Now this is the active object in the selection, I join. So now the mesh that I duplicated is here. It is now part of the muzzle mesh of. So I have two meshes here, but it's just an example here. Let's delete this copied mesh. Just let's say I have a perfect, then this is the messed mesh. Messed up mesh is just, no, there's another mesh there for the mouth. Okay, this, oh no, this is all the same thing. Okay, ignore that. Let's go back to the, so this is the good muzzle ghost mesh. Ghost because it is the target, this object, this is the target of the shrink wrapping, of a shrink wrapping modifier for the lips, for the mouth, where it is, shrink wrap mouth, shrink wrap muzzle. So this will tell on a specific vertex group of the body, and it could be just the face, but in my case is the whole body. So I have a specific vertex group here that will be sort of this, right, wave painting for the face, except for the lips. So it doesn't include the lips for a logical reason. Then all that will shrink wrap in it will be a target vertex group. I call that a mod 1D shrink wrap muzzle. Let's look at its wave painting here. Let's look, Control Shift X. No, it's not this one, it's this one. Okay, so this is the wave painting. So this is not the forms, this is just a vertex group for this shrink wrap modifier, so the muzzle. So there it is. So this mesh, you see that it excludes the lips. It's black and very low, so it doesn't include the lips. So it includes all that relates to the muzzle, except for even the nose in my case, but not the lips. The lips must not be there. So once these go to shrink wrap, this shrink wraps outside, it could be some offsetting, then this allows the muzzle on the face to, just as I show here, to the mouth, right? Actually not the mouth, but the muzzle to of the body of the face to surf on top of the ghost muzzle which is there. So it's like one mesh surfing on top of that, except for the lips. The lips on my case, they exist on the face, right? They are here, they are true, they are connected, right? The lips. But one thing of interest about the muzzle is that the muzzle ghost here doesn't have a mouth hole. You see? Then when you create the muzzle ghost, you need to delete if you duplicated the lips and they are here, you need to delete the lips from the ghost muzzle mesh and flatten this. You need to obliterate the hole in the mesh topology. So you see, it doesn't matter how you close that, provided it is smooth and organized. And the topology of the muzzle, of both muzzles, right, because it's a duplicate, must be something like that, right? You need to have the topology with this kind of large flow face loops, because around the mouth, usually the realistic rigs, they, even some anime rigs, they cartoonic rigs, they all do some face loop like here, right? But this is not enough, right? For the universal sonic mouth rig, you need this kind of face loop that go wide, so that the mouth, the lips, they will be able to move right in all this area. Basically, that's the theory. And there's another thing. Well, there's a tutorial about the universal sonic mouth rig, right? So the one of the most important things, a lot of things are important in the universal sonic mouth rig. The topology here, but the regularity of the lips. Here you see that they are organic, but this is fake. This is my method. These are the real lips. So you see a very regular mouth, somewhat like how this universal sonic mouth rig works. And then I just made a special. So this is shape keys. This is not a expressive shape keys. This is just to give the constant anatomic shape of the lips of that character. This doesn't exist in the universal sonic mouth rig, the tutorial, the documentation. Instead, they use shape key as the more conventional ways, like to shaping expression, O shape, mouth, all those kind of stuff, as complement to all the armature deformed things that right. So that will be the thing. But right now it works. Another model, no same mouth. Yes. So yes, it can be applied. I think I understand. The universal sonic mouth rig could be applied on many other characters, 3D characters, right? It doesn't need to be a cartoony character, so it can be it's very powerful. But the more the shapes of the face are complex, I think, or the more it's hard. See, the universal sonic mouth rig, that sonic character there, the muzzle is very rounded, even below the face. So here I have these pointy character designs, here too on the cheekbone, and here on the nose too. So all this makes the universal sonic mouth rig more complicated in my experience. And so it can get super complicated as the character designs get more complex. And sometimes, so it's about regularity too. So the more regular is the character design, the more predictable it will be, the easier it should be to make that rig. So recently, not too long ago, so I was attempting a different approach. Unfortunately, I think I don't have here the way to show immediately, but I'm going to apply on this character, Aisha, this character here. You see, she has no mouth, so no lips, no mouth hole. That is because I'm going to use on her the other approach. There exists an approach with booleans. An artist, there are tutorials already for this with difference boolean modifier, can also be done with geometry nodes. And so I have some, hold on here, I have some, maybe I have something here, let's see. Yes. Okay, I just don't have the mouth, but this is the topic for another stream for me. Basically, there is a way to make a mouth rigging just as the universal sonic mouth rig, using that allows the mouth to go anywhere on the face, but without the shrink wrapping thing. Instead, what we do is use the boolean thing. Right, so this can be a boolean modifier, but I found out that by using geometry nodes, the rig is much stabler or much easier to use. So basically you have to get, and so I'm starting, it's not that I don't like the universal sonic mouth rig, it taught me a lot, and I learned a lot in the process, but for my character design this is overly complicated, and I tend to complicate stuff also. So then I found, by looking at those tutorials with boolean modifiers for mouth rig, there was a huge limitation, in my opinion, is that there's no lips, or if there were any lips volumes, those lips were very crude, very raw shapes. And then that is why I've decided to experiment with more organic lips, just as you saw in the other character, right? And I found out that this join geometry node here can solve in a very simple way, apparently, these problems. So I don't have the mesh here of the lips to show here, but basically it's like doing the same thing as the boolean modifier technique approach, that there are tutorials on YouTube for that, but on geometry nodes. So you have like you have a lips, then you have a tube, something like that, or that will be the differentiator here for the boolean, and that will create the whole. Okay, nothing special here except that we can do that procedurally instead of with object modifiers we do in geometry node. So here's the face, then we need to use some, yeah, you see I don't have the boolean mouth here. I have those stuff, but yeah, I need to revise all that, so I'm not gonna, yeah, I'll just try to show if it might be a bit messy here. I don't even remember what are all those things. So let's see. We have ellipse. Very bizarre here. Mouth hole. The names might even be incorrect. What are those things? Okay, so this is the invisible thing. It's a ghost mesh that is invisible. So basically it just cuts a hole inside the lips. This probably should be the lips. You see, I still was using some boolean modifiers, but this is not required because you can do that with geometry nodes. The problem is that I don't have an armature functioning, I guess. So the idea is that, yeah, I'll have to, this is too complicated to, in this circumstance here, to do anything. So but this method apparently works, and it does what the universal sonic mouth rig does about having the lips or the mouth with the hole anywhere, and it allows to have volume organic lips. There will still be deforms with armature deform, right? Skinning algorithm, wave painting, but only for the lips, not for the muzzle. So it's a completely, it bypasses all the problems of relating the lips mesh with the muzzle mesh. So you don't need ghost muzzle mesh in this approach, if I remember properly. And there's no tutorial for this, so this will be my invention here. I want to make a tutorial about that, but I need to, it is too good to be true, but it's called geometry nodes. It does some miracle, I don't know, didn't figure it out. This I was trying to extrude lips from, so this is old, this is not important. What really is important here is basically the procedural boolean, the mesh of the lips, the mesh of the hole, and the mesh of the face. Those three meshes interact together to create the difference boolean through here. Maybe there'll be another mesh involved here that is missing, possibly, I don't know. And then we join geometry with some, oh yes, here's the mouth lips. So this is mouth lips. Let's see. Where is this? What is this mesh here? Oh yeah, it is sort of disappearing behind. So it's just like the lips of the universal sonic mouth rig here, but this is an old state thing, right? And it probably has got some anatomic shape key. No, it's not present. It's not developed. So it was just ready to work. Then going back here, then we got some, so ignore those extrusions. This was a process that didn't, well, to be too, it's trying to shape organic stuff on geometry nodes. Geometry nodes is not for that, unfortunately. It doesn't have too much support for that, maybe in the future. So I gave up on that. Started to make some effect, but it will be overly complicated unnecessarily. We can just, so this is why I've decided to have lips as a separated mesh, so done organically but as a separated mesh, and then it is joined, and that will glue those meshes together. The mesh of the base, essentially the mesh of the face here, which contains the geometry nodes, which is disabled here. Then this boolean mouth hole, which will be here, which is probably incorrect. It's too big. Yeah, so maybe I have, this is why yeah, all this is offset. It's all working. I just haven't completed. So basically these interactions, there are some, of course there are a lot of stuff for the armature, for the how the boolean will work, how the mouth and the mouth hole, the lips and the mouth hole should be modeled. So there are a lot of things to know there. I can't explain now, but I will be doing all that in the stream in the following days as I reach, because I'm very close to that. I just needed to complete this, yeah, here, this texture stuff, and there you see model lips, a boolean lips. So that will be the next step. Already rigging some sort of, right? So arrived somewhat at the right moment if you want to look at this, but we can still make a rig with the universal sonic mouth rig if we don't want to use a geometry nodes. But I think this method with geometry nodes and boolean is the unjoined geometry. This is surprisingly very, very powerful for a cartoonic rig. Okay, so that was my take on this, on your questions, right? Uh, your question of the melt rig, right? So let's continue here. If okay, I've just completed this this part. Actually, I was going for the eyelash, right? So these eyelashes I need to seam. Yes, I was doing this thing, right? Let's look at this wave texture. No, it's not working. Then this mix. Yeah, maybe something like that. Alright, let's try this and let's keep rotating those things. Let's see. Again, I don't see any effect. Something is messed up always. Oh no, it's just that I need to do this maybe. No, not working. Texture, what's wrong about this? Oh, this is not okay, so this one is working, this one is working. Why this one is not working? So let's delete this, duplicate this one. Oh, it's using the fact. Okay, no, it's not because of that. So all these values seems to be equivalent. So just don't, I don't know why this doesn't want to work. Let's delete here, Shift D. Oh, of course, it was this, still something was missing. There we go. Now yes, you can mix here, and I will DM on Discord. Yes, sure, feel free. We'll chat there. I think it will be better also. Yeah, show me some of your creations too. I want to see what you're doing to help to make muzzle mesh. Yes, welcome. Sure, yes, let's see what you're... Are you trying to do the universal sonic melt rig? I hope I was able to explain the idea about it somewhat. Some of the problems involved, right? We can find a lot of things can go wrong, but usually that's like that on rigging. And each character, right, each kind of character model is different, right? So we need to be aware of that. So I can say I was sort of successful in the end making the universal sonic melt rig on my character design, but it was very challenging. The biggest challenge I ever had on organic rigging the melt. And so it's very advanced rigging, right? Because there are a lot of things that need to be working together. So with this diffuse, let me try now to... Oh, this is not mixing, right? So this is why the color was not working. Mix, no, maybe multiply. Yeah, let's use or maybe overlay. Let's see what that creates. No, lighten, darken, difference. No, probably not that. So mix is not bad, not good. So color burn, not too strong, interesting pattern. So let's use this darken here, and here let's just employ more, change the scale here, yeah, something like that, and change the rotation. Oh, that's too much. I see the waves there. Let's try to be some sort of nearly aligned. All right, and then multiply, soften, linear light, no, color dodge, add, maybe add, no, add doesn't seem to do so. I'm going back and forth, so let's leave this, and I'll try to do this maybe with the color ramp now, so I can actually vector, no, it's not, converter, color ramp. So maybe I'll get this, so instead of white, let's bring this to some grayish color. So why do that? Because I will be, my idea is to work with transparency, alpha or some stuff like that. Yeah, so something like that. You see, like strokes, right? I'm not sure this is a great idea, but emulating strokes, so harsh strokes. If I could expand, maybe if I play with the textures, with the scales a bit more, that could help. Yeah, and maybe this is better. And then here, maybe let's, yeah, so I don't know how the alpha map or something like that will work. So this is a color thing, so diffuse, let's use a mix shader, and mix this with a shader transparency, transparent BSDF. Should it go here? Oh yeah, so there you go. So so this is the problem. It is too uniform, while I wanted really is to have the some actually there's another problem, that the orientation, so doing this procedurally, it's super complicated with my knowledge at least. It will be, but I can maybe reuse this along with some, intriguingly, that seems to produce some effect that seems to be usable. So if I have too much, it's very poor, but if I could combine some sort of wave painting to map the vertices, or that would require more density. I don't know if I can recall some shading pattern from wave painting. Probably there is, yes, but I don't know this right now. I'll have to look at some tutorial thing. But okay, at least the idea of using the transparency, this seems to be plausible. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so if you had this, we have a lot of transparency, right? And of course we can also play with this one. So yeah, so I don't want this one. I'm gonna delete, and so maybe I use this one and then I simplify some things that I have here, not allow it to be that bold and extended. So I'll use the extension for some image texture. So actually, let's try to make some texture painting here. So why this is so dark? This is because of this yeah, it's because of this, of course. Yeah, so it's super messy here. Transparent, do I connect this color ramp there? Not sure. Anyways, this is looking artificial, not looking. Well, she's an alien, maybe that's not too bad, but of course I can do better, much better, with just the why resist, right? The temptation of not doing image texture. So let's do that. So we have this image texture here. Let's go for the UV. Okay, this is the face right now. I just want, okay, seam stuff, Shift D. Let's make a new one. Yes, with this amount of texture for this, that will be like Aisha eyelashes. And the problem is that I do not see where are those. Yeah, so maybe here I can. Okay, it is connected. Okay, let's do this. Maybe I can do this. Alright, so I'll try to use the strokes, Shift F10, and then we need to get, oh, the UVs changed, right? So this messed up all the they have here. Let's do an image texture here, and let's add this Aisha eyelashes. I can read that. I'm gonna paint, yes, but I need to save this. Where's the menu? Okay, so hopefully I have a tablet graphic palette to do this, but this is not over. Let's connect this to the diffuse. All right. Or actually, let's connect this directly to the I don't know why it got this darker color. This makes no sense. Oh, I need to map this. All right. Texture, linear. Closest flat, yes, repeat. Doesn't matter here. Generated, I think, single image, and maybe I'm forgetting something. Anyways, no. Okay, something is wrong here. Oh, this is edit mode, of course. Texture paint. Not working. I need to be on the okay, clearly this is not responding. Oh yeah, there are a mask. All right, so this is the no, but I wasn't using mask, so it says there's no image, right? So which is strange because I'm exactly trying to create an image texture for this. Why I can't paint here? So one of those mysteries. Okay, maybe I try to your Discord ID. Oh yes, so I cannot place it here, but I told you you could get, let's see here, if you go on Discord, I'm not very good on this, there's numbers, right? Hold on, I think I can find that value, that number, if I join Discord. Are you in those Blender Discord or Blender community in Discord? Then you can just find me there and add me. But if you don't find, let's try to I'm not prepared for this thing. Let's see here, this Blender community and this Blender Discord. Then okay, you haven't sent me anything, and there's something about I can't see this. Okay, there 2448. Okay, let me add it. Sorry, see gnomes 2448. I think that is the case. Yes, all connected like that. Yes, so I need to get better at this thing. Discord is very weird sometimes in its manners. Okay, soundtrack back here. And here there is Blender being weird in this fashion. So I'm going to maybe UV unwrap that. Rotate, do this again, and apparently yes, there is some thing wrong about this. So I think I'm gonna close that, close this, and I'm going to new Aisha eyelashes. It will be alpha, okay, blank, or maybe yes, blank. Then Aisha eyelashes here. Ah, there we go. So something weird that it was not accessible. Then lock here. Then generated. All right, I don't understand, but let's go here on the painting. Now I can paint, most likely. So paint, what is the inversion here? I don't know, but alright, so we can paint finally. Let's try to... yeah, the only problem is that I can't see the... well, I can just paint directly here, can't I? Doesn't seem so. For some reason it is resistant. Oh, this is vertex paint, texture paint. So apparently I've added a vertex paint thing, so yeah, no, don't want that. Maybe I delete that too, right? Okay, texture paint. So this was... so here I can, with enough precision, I can create some interesting patterns. Maybe here's a moment for using the stabilizer. Can do this shortcut for that. I don't remember what is the shortcut. Ah, it is just hold shift, but it is lagging. So what is the... change this. I don't remember this to oh, the shift is not stabilizer, it is just I read already the stabilizer on. I think it's the control erase. So I'm just mixing things up with the grease pencil. Okay, but this should work. We'll see how that will work in the end. Maybe full black here, but let's reduce the strain. And something that can be interesting here in this cross hatching is that we can also, so this part closest to the should be probably darker, right? More intense. That seems to make sense. You can try to follow some basic pattern here. And then we can explore this other, which is not so much for this character, but we can character design, but yes, this can totally make difference. Then let's Control X, Shift X. I don't remember what shortcut I use for that. Okay, do like that. Let's paint this. After I invert if I need, so I want it to be black because it sounds logical, but we can just invert later. Invert. Alright, so here and these ones can be more elongated. And yeah, so you see very bold and dense eyelashes here. That should work. Then maybe here I'll be lacking some more space on the mesh, could be a bit more exaggerated because of the excessive amount of transparency that we can play with, but that's fine. The important here is these patterns to be organically shaped in interesting manner. So now here I'm not very, yeah, I can go the opposite direction by trying to erase later. I don't know what I'm gonna do because this table, I have another, but this table is the best one. It has the stilo has nearly no more ammunition. It's blunt. I'm nearly out of possibility to stroke. There's even some minimal noise that it is making because of attrition. I don't know if I can. It's an older tablet. I don't know even if it can be replaced, if I can find more of those things. That is a grave problem for this table. There should be. I have to. Save. Let's not forget to save here. Where it is. Save. All right. Save it. It's not saved anywhere. Dangerous things. Right. So asset library. Character Aisha. Yes, this one for now. There we go. Yeah, this part is a bit confusing, but that should be okay. Then here, let's try to okay, this is not super good, but that is better than the procedural one at this stage. So let's save here. Let's also save again. Let's see if that can be, how that will interact. So maybe I can join it. No, that's not very good. So we'll try to do a color ramp. Yeah, color ramp seems to be nice. Reinforce some. Okay, that will be the inversion, right? So this is not what I want. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Then let's add a, so this go for the inverter. That goes to, why is this? This is strange. It's not really inverting. What's happening here? Okay, let's try the diffuse color for that. And it's doing the transparency there, but it's not too good. Let's maybe it is the case of the edge shader, I'm not sure. I remember something about that. No, this is not very nice, right? Oh, it's not. Interesting. Yeah, this kind of very cool. I see, but I'm not sure if the right way to use still. This seems to work in a sort of crude way. Yeah, so this needs to be much more detailed. I need to reassess what's going on with my tablets, then that also should help, but not today. So I think I'll just leave something like this. Let's mount roughness maybe. Should they be all black color? Well, no, we can give a base color of some kind. Maybe this color is a bit too stunning. Let's give something more neutral. Same for this, and same for this. There we go. And like this, I'm not sure they are combining very well with the rest, but let's see, can we get some cardinal, linear, no, B-spline, no, constant will be horrible. So just ease or cardinal, no, ease is fine. All right. So I never attempted this kind of solution, and it seems to be not too hard to implement, just little effort required, and it's kind of, the results can be quite interesting. And here maybe there is this thing that I wanted to do, right? Let's try to mix, color mix. Not sure this is the right thing, but let's get yeah, it doesn't seem to be yeah, it's not necessary to do that. So there's still something I would like to do about this, but I'm not sure what. Interesting effects to the UV, right, to make some, it's too chaotic though, as it could help in one way, it can sort of sacrifice the rest. So yeah, it's too risky to do that. And so I'm gonna just, here we not required. Maybe I can try to add another shader or some way to affect this previous, the texture here previous to that color ramp. I'm not sure this is working. Yes, that is working. So the idea is to try to calibrate these strokes so that when they come back to we have something that the whites are not working as they should. Okay, now this is yeah, now this is interesting. Of course I need to, oh, I know what's happening. Of course, is because I'm confusing these. This should be alpha. No? Okay, I see. So maybe I truly need the mix shader because it has the facting. So again, no, not. So I get this same thing here. Okay, maybe I need, I got it. I need a new color ramp, right? Actually, no, let's bring this to FAC. And the transparent, I'm not sure it needs anything. So what I can do now is pick this one and just this white, I can just exchange it for maybe something like this, but good. Yeah, so this is really nice. Can be improved even more, but we got the shading facilities here. And yeah, I think I'll just say goodbye to all this. It's good to know procedural, but sometimes nothing best for artists to just meet the front line. And then the transparent, I think it doesn't need anything, right? But let's check. Does that do any difference? Yeah, there is, but yeah, that doesn't work. So it's like that. And this white, I have no idea what that color does. I don't know what this alpha is for, but this is certainly what we want. And that's good. So we need now to get another achievement here. Shift F5. No, it's the layouts here. If I get here to the okay, eyelash done. So Aisha skin texture. So not sure I'm gonna do this live. And anyways, this I can do tomorrow, and then finally we reach the rig. So that was it, folks. This was big achievements today, lots of research and lots of improvements. And after we got into rigging, then there is a lot of re-rolling of the ancient stuff and new stuff that I'm gonna propose for rigging. So that won't be too long, because I have a lot of setups that are already working. The only few things that I really want to address more seriously, there will be many, uncountable, but especially there's, I'd say the most gravest thing is the high heel. I'm checking some update on that I want for that setup. Then physics is usually all right. Plot rigging is no problem here, and eyes rigging I got it. Then face rigging, mouth rigging also I got it. Maybe something goes wrong. Lots of things will be challenging. Then restructuring, simplifying the armature rig. Spine rig will be interesting. I'll do again this probably fake IKEA setup. And then for the pelvis, yes, that might be a problem. So maybe then I'll decide which will be her rest position. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, Henry Blenders. See ya tomorrow, I hope. It's weekend, but I think I can stream. See ya, folks. Take care. Happy blending.